Alina, I know we have a few people coming in now into the Zoom, so we'll give everybody a few minutes. Thank you.
How's it going, Joel? Thank you for the introduction. I'm actually on the train right now, so I might cut out.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. Just gonna wait for a couple minutes to some of the committee members could trickle in. I know it was raining quite a lot earlier, so there might be some delays. So we'll wait a few minutes.
I'll go back on camera when I'm done eating my snack.
Enjoy. I just finished mine, so you're good. Thanks.
Hey, Joel, it looks like Wayne has joined you for tonight's meeting. So you guys are all set. I already started the live streaming for our Facebook and YouTube channels for those joining us through there.
Okay, great. I do see Wayne. Hi, Wayne. Thank you for joining us today. I always welcome your presence and your expertise.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Good.
Excellent. All right. I'm gonna give it a minute. I see you, John. Hi, John. How are you?
Hey,
We've also been joined by
me.
fellow board member Leo Jimenez.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How are you?
Hey, Leo. How are you? John, I'm sorry. Thank you for joining us, John. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. I'm going to be listening in. My colleague, Dr. Maria Blecker, will be presenting, but happy to join today. Thanks again for joining us last Thursday, which Maria will tell everyone about, but we really appreciated having your representation of the board.
Absolutely. Anytime, John. It was a wonderful event, and we'll circle back to it. Great things coming out of the Hive, for sure.
Indeed.
So we'll give it about 30 seconds more, and then we'll start the meeting. Jackie, I promoted you to panelists, so you could join this conversation. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you, Joel.
Got it. We aren't voting on anything, so we don't have to meet quorum. I see that we have Hector. I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:06, May 2nd, 2023. Calling this meeting to order. Can I have a motion to adopt? I know it's only you out there, Hector, while the others come in. I know they're running late. Say it again, Hector.
Motion to adopt.
I'm going to second it. Thank you so much. So we have a great one today. I want to first start off. I don't know if everybody has the agenda. If you don't, I can forward it to you. So usually in the beginning of the meetings, I'm going to introduce myself first. So my name is Joel Abreu. I am a small business specialist, business banker at JP Morgan, and I've been on the board for about 3 years now. And I've been to the chair for a couple of months now of the Business Development Committee, and it's been fun. I'm Washington Heights native, been here all my life. It's a great way to give back to the community. I'm going to pass it to Hector so he can introduce himself as part of the committee. Hector, you there? I know you're on the train. Okay. Okay. If anybody trickles in from our committee, which we should in the next 10 minutes, I'll have them introduce myself. So in the beginning of each meeting, we have implemented in the committee to kind of highlight a business. And I picked this up from Liz. Liz usually does this in her parks meeting. That she highlights a certain, CBO or certain group that's doing something positive in the community. So I have Mr. Peligro. I don't think he's in already. If you are in, Mr. Peligro, his name is Jose. He actually owns the sports supply store on 157th Street, I believe it is. And I want to highlight this business this week. So I don't think he's in yet. He just texted me. He's having some difficult issues. That's the first thing on our agenda. So this is why I'm mentioning it. So if you, and I'm speaking to Hector, this is something new that we're starting in the committee just to highlight some great businesses in our neighborhood. So another thing that we're excited about this month. We're starting this meeting with our highlight, which is important. But May is Small Business Month, right? It's a Small Business Month all federally and in New York. So there's a couple things that I want to mention. So first thing, the SBA is hosting a virtual summit. Day one was today. It was May 2nd. And it went over. They went over a few things. Some of the things include simple steps to write and follow a sustainable business plan by scope. Microsoft did a few things of small business growth in the age of AI. I actually participated in some of these some meetings today. T-Mobile did a great one on embrace the connected world and how to leverage connected devices in small businesses. So these are some of the things that they're talking about in the SBA. Tomorrow, May 3rd, I'm going to send the link in the chat so all our small businesses can, whoever is on, can log in, submit their email so they can join. It's kind of like, it's pretty cool because it's kind of like a virtual setting. You're able to collect contact info and go into different rooms as if you were actually in like the actual conference. So definitely be on the lookout tomorrow. They have a great lineup. Some of the companies are there: T-Mobile again, Amazon, Square, Zebra. They're talking about payment system, future of commerce, growing your commerce business. It's a lot, but definitely something that small businesses could be taking advantage of. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So anybody that wants to go to this virtual summit can. So that's something important. We are celebrating it. Different organizations, different businesses across the private sector and the public sector are doing a variety of things for small businesses. So please be on the lookout for those things. Another company that's doing something specifically for our neighborhood is Verizon. So Verizon has, and this is another announcement I wanted to make, Verizon has a program right now with the Dominican American Chamber of Commerce. They have a grant of $10,000. I also put this in the chat, and maybe Jackie, you can talk a little bit more about this, but it's a free program. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow is an information session on how you can apply for this $10,000 grant. It's really a Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. That's what it's called. The information session is going to tell you how to apply and what are the steps necessary to acquire the grant. So I will also forward this information on the chat because it's also important and we can leverage this resource for all those small businesses out there. Before I continue, do I have any questions in the two announcements that I made? Okay.
Joel, Mancita has joined you as well.
All right. Thank you, Paola. I appreciate that. Hey, Mancita. That's one of our committee members. How are you?
Good. How is everyone? Hey, Joel.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Mancita. Just a small introduction for the, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot so early. So give us a small introduction and how long you've been on the board.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Apologies, I was running late from work. My name is Mancita Diawara, and this is my first year on the community board CB12. I've lived up in the neighborhood for a while now, and I'm in this business development committee as well as parks and cultural. And I like our committee. It's nice and small, and we get to hear really interesting, people keep bringing really interesting opportunities to people who might be interested in delving into the small business entrepreneurial field. But thanks, I'm excited for tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mancita. I really do appreciate that introduction. I see I have a question, Leo.
Hey, Joe, thank you for having me. The small business virtual summit, it's during the day, I'm assuming, during the work hours, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's during the day. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 sessions throughout the day, all about an hour long. And again, I'll forward it, but yeah, it's during the day. And it's from 9:30 to 6:30. So it's sponsored by JP Morgan, Score, T-Mobile, Microsoft. It's a lot of information, but definitely well worth it, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? All right. Other things that I want to mention that, organizations that have been here before and that are continuously working for our neighborhood. First one, I want to give a shout out to the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone. Their applications are still out for the grants, the loans that they're doing. The small business line of credit, the micro loans. Please check out their website. They're still accepting applications for those loans. And lastly, in my announcement, and it's definitely not least, is this committee is committed to the effort of creating a bid with cloth. Please, it's imperative that we fill out this needs assessment, especially for the people that are in this area. From 155th, I always butcher this, to about 168 on Broadway and westbound from Broadway to Amsterdam. Anybody that is in this area, please, this needs assessment is vital. Cloth, the Community of the Heights, was awarded a bid grant to kind of start discovery on a bid. So it will do wonders for this area. So please fill out this needs assessment. Just wanted to shout out. Anytime, Jackie, that's very important. It's a mission for this committee for us to get this thing moving. We're committed to that. So any questions on any of the announcements I made? I know I went through that pretty fast, but I wanted to get those things out there. Also, just be on the lookout. May is Small Business Month. It's a great month for so many resources out there. I wish we could have like a weekly meeting this month for all the resources that we have. So just to move the agenda along, I had the privilege of attending an event on Thursday. It was sponsored by Yeshiva University and the Innovation Lab. And it was just remarkable. It was a kind of a mixture of different fields, from construction to advisement to succession planning. I was able to sit on the access of capital kind of table. It was just amazing that we can kind of clash these two cultures combined, even symbolized by kosher Latino food that was served. But it was a great event. It was a networking event. It was an event put on by the Innovation Lab that allowed business owners to come in and get advice from all types of sectors. It was great. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Tom, Maria, Irina, the whole team in the Innovative Lab. I really do appreciate for allowing us to be in there, the committee to be in there, me to be in there. It was a great event. I'm pretty sure that this is just the beginning of it. With that being said, I want to introduce, I believe it's Irina that's going to be presenting about the Innovation Lab and what it has to offer and what it's bringing to that. But before I do, Irina, before you start presenting, I do want to share a video of what was the event about, the different businesses that were highlighted in the event. Okay, it's just a little bit of a news coverage, so just bear with me. I want to show this. I'm gonna share some of my screen here. Oh man, it's not allowing me to. Well, okay. Oh, thank you, Irene, for sharing that. I don't know this. I don't know why it's not allowing me to. Well, okay. I can't share it. I don't know why, but I did. Well, Irene did put it on the chat. Univision and Quisqueya TV was there in attendance. Highlighted a few businesses that were kind of getting in consultation at that event, and I tell you, it was good. But Irina, you can get off mute. Tell us a little bit about the Innovation Lab and what are you guys doing for the community. Irina. Irina, you there? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
She
no.
has to unmute herself. She's already on mute. It has to be something on computer settings.
On your computer settings, maybe your microphone. No, not hearing you. No.
Is this better?
Yes, there it is.
Oh, okay, all right, because I was going crazy.
No, you're good.
I was hoping to share with everyone a little bit of media coverage from this amazing event that Joel was describing, and also congratulations to Joel for joining our next cohort of local businesses. We are so proud to have such amazing partners in the community, and the mission of the Innovation Lab through East Shipping University. We're funded by the federal grant for the economic development assistance. And our mission is to use the university, the academy, as a platform for accelerating the development of businesses in the Northern Manhattan. And we are residents of Washington Heights. I'm personally a resident of Washington Heights. I'm speaking from my home today, just right across from the park here in Tryon Park. And we're deeply immersed and ensconced, and this is our opportunity to use the resources that we have access to, that you have access to together actually create a much more prosperous local business community. This was our debutante party. This was our coming out event in many ways, and it was magical. We had over 30 local businesses represented from all sorts of industries, from small laundromats to kind of regulations, management, to people who are trying to start their business and they just wanted to network and they wanted to pitch their ideas and practice and get more connected to the community. And we are launching exactly 10 new businesses as our next cohort. And we hope to continue and grow and partner with the community in these amazing ways.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was great. Thank you. And thank you so much for you guys for allowing me to be part of my organization, to be part of the Innovative Labs. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We are so proud to be able to finally build these bridges and really reinforce these connections in the community. So we're really excited to see the outcomes that will come out of this.
Yeah, for sure. There's been long a kind of an invisible wall on Broadway, and I'm glad to see it finally being torn down. But I have a question, Leo.
Thank you, Joanne. The Innovation Lab, Irina, and the team. I think this is great, especially for a lot of, up and coming entrepreneurs, a lot of Latino businesses. A lot of people have great ideas, innovative ideas, but they don't have the means of market or the network or, the help to kind of bring it up to reality. So we do appreciate you, extending east of Broadway and giving us a hand in helping our community develop in the business world. My question to you, Irina, is, will you guys have another event? And I know you guys said that you're going to be working with 10 businesses. Do you guys already have the 10 businesses, or are you still working to get those businesses?
Thank you so much, Leo. It's a great question. We are incredibly lucky with such a turnout and such amazing resources and expertise in the community that we were able to really fill our capacity for this coming cohort. That said, if this model proves as successful as we hope it will be, we are going to be looking into potentially creating more robust, more diverse kind of cohorts. And right now, the staff is very small. The Innovation Lab, there's only 3 of us, and it's powered by the student consultants who are providing services to the businesses through business development and market research and in other ways. So we are growing this model, and we anticipate having more events. We're planning an event in the fall. So please stay in touch, and I'll leave contact information for you to follow up if you have any more questions or want to communicate in any way with us. But right now we're looking into the fall for the next event, and we are hoping to grow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. I look forward to that event and being a participant. That's awesome. This is great.
Thank you, John.
Anything that you want to add, John? Thank you so much, Irina. I appreciate you presenting it and presenting the Innovation Lab. So much good work coming out of there.
My pleasure.
John, anything you want to add?
Irina said it all with regard to the program. I just want to emphasize one point that she made, which is that, Yeshiva University has been in Washington Heights for more than a century. We laid the cornerstone on our first campus building back in 1927, and we were founded in the 1880s. And this is just the latest example of our commitment to the community. We, from our mental health programming at our Wurzweiler School of Social Work to the many clinics, renowned legal clinics at our Cardozo School, like the Innocence Project or Immigration Clinic. This is really our commitment to the community. And so, to see something grow from a pilot of just 3 local businesses now to 10, and as Irina says, hopefully, with with interest and capacity, both on the business side and also the participant students from our constituent schools, we'll see this only grow.
Yes, yes, that's right. Looking forward to that for sure. But thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to the next meeting and inviting you guys back to share all the success of the Innovation Lab. So thank you again. We will send over the link of the event and the flyer. It's in the background of Irina, so you guys can take a look at a little bit more about the Innovative Lab. So thank you again. So just want to push the agenda forward. Did anybody join us from the committee? Let's take a look. Okay. Hector said he would be back, but let's move it forward. Next item on our agenda is the Con Edison, and thanks to Cloth and Eli for referencing us in this and allowing this connection to happen between Con Edison. I know we have Watson here from Con Edison. He's going to be talking to us about the small to medium business energy efficiency program, and that could definitely be leveraged to help our small businesses in the area. So Watson, you can take it away.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm going to share my screen, so just bear with me for a moment. Let's see. Can you all see my slide? All right. So yeah, I'll introduce myself real quick. My name is Watson Millison. I am a Deputy Program Manager at Con Edison's Small Medium Business Energy Efficiency Program. And I'll just start clicking through. Bear with me for a moment. If my computer will cooperate. Oh, this always happens. I'm gonna try different options. This presentation mode is throwing me off.
Yeah, that was happening to me too. So
let me just do. It'll be a little less pretty, but you'll still be able to see my screen. All right, looks like it's working.
Yep.
All right. Why is this not working? Oh, all right. So yeah, real quick, I'll just give you an overview. Con Edison, we provide energy efficiency incentives. So basically, we help small businesses pay for upgrades to their whether it's their lighting, their heating. We're shifting towards electrifying buildings, so we're making this more possible for businesses to save energy, and therefore save on their electric bills, and ultimately, reduce their emissions and help with the overall efforts to curb global warming. So I'm going to talk about why energy efficiency matters, who is eligible for these incentives, what kind of upgrades fall under this program. I have 2 case studies, and then I'll close with how businesses can participate. So this program has been running since 2009. So there's been all over 30,000 businesses that have participated. And ultimately, they have been upgrading their equipment at their businesses, so reducing their energy costs, like I just said, and by upgrading to the latest and greatest technology that also could potentially reduce any maintenance costs. I can think of lots of businesses that kind of put duct tape on their AC unit and pray every summer that it's going to work, not break down. So by incentivizing and upgrading to more efficient equipment, you know, use less energy, spend less money to run it, have less maintenance costs. I mentioned the carbon footprint aspect of just being a better steward for the environment. And also, depending on the size of your space, there is local on 97, which is coming into effect this year, where if you're 25,000 square feet or larger, you could be subject to fines if you aren't actively working towards reducing emissions. So, got some pictures of customers that have participated in our program. So here's a bar in Brooklyn, an antique shop in Ridgewood, Queens, a hardware store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So next slide will show. Oh no. All right, so who's eligible for this program? We work with small commercial customers. So technically speaking, if your average peak demand is below 300 kilowatts and you're a Con Ed electric customer in good standing, you can participate in this program. So who's been taking advantage of these incentives? Your classic brick and mortar New York small businesses. We got bodegas, laundromats, small offices, restaurants, gyms, repair shops, what have you. All kinds of small businesses have been taking advantage to reap the benefits of upgrading systems in their spaces and reducing their energy consumption. So there's a laundromat that's participated, a wine shop. Also, lots of houses of worship qualify for these incentives. Next slide will show what do we cover. So we upgrade lighting or lighting control, so like installing occupancy sensors. So if someone leaves the space, the lights will shut off. HVAC, so heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Hot water systems are eligible. Refrigeration equipment. Building envelope is something we're starting to incentivize now. So you're spending lots of money to heat or cool your space. You want to make sure that you're actually trapping in and not releasing out what you're working so hard to achieve through your heating or air conditioning. And then also energy management systems. So it can be smart thermostats. So you can, from your cell phone, better manage the comfort of your space. I'll do two quick case studies. Here is a food town located in Brooklyn. This is a good example because they actually did multiple projects over 6 years from 2016 to 2022. In this case, they updated their lighting, refrigerated case night covers. So if you have fridges where you have produce that's exposed with that glass front, when the business is closed at night, you can use it like a shutter and it traps in that cool air. There are certain types of fans and motors that can be upgraded so that these refrigerators and coolers are working more efficiently. Automatic door closers, so making sure that doors to conditioned spaces don't just stay open, they'll just start to close. And I've included a testimonial below. In this case, it's a grocery store. So the big thing is about aesthetics and making sure that your produce looks good. So here, Shadi, the owner, was really just raving about how good his produce looked from the updated lighting. And I'll dive into the financials real quick. So these multiple projects in total was just under $140,000. So Con Edison, we paid just under $100,000 towards those project costs. So the customer copay was $42,000. So the result of all of these initiatives, it's about just under $70,000 in potential electric bill savings annually. And running those numbers, payback period is 7 months. So pretty good example. Another example is the Dance Theater Harlem. A few years back, they completely upgraded all of their lighting. So here, just over $50,000, kind of covered about 28,000. So customer copay was 22 grand and change. Estimated bill savings is $38,000, just under 39,000. also pretty rapid payback period, because in this case, they're probably going from relatively inefficient lighting that's on for most of the day, days during the week, to very efficient LED lighting. And here, this is a nonprofit, so they raising money is really important to them. So upgrading lighting is not always an easy thing. Any kind of construction or capital expenses, these are things that require a lot of planning, preparation, fundraising. So being able to help them reduce their upfront cost made a huge difference for just really upgrading the look of this space. I'll close just by giving instructions how businesses can participate. So we have a list of participating contractors on our website, coned.com/smallbusiness. So customers can look at the list, see, it'll show where within the service territory, just Upper Manhattan, if they're working there, they're doing lighting, they're doing HVAC, refrigeration, what have you, they can see who can provide service to that area. What they will then do is they'll visit the business, do a walkthrough, take a look at the lighting, HVAC, whatever is at the space, and they'll produce a report showing like, well, if you upgrade X with Y, these are your potential energy savings. Here's what Con Edison will potentially pay, and here's what you will owe for the project. So the contractor will then perform the installation. Con Edison, my program, we will pay up to 70% of the installation. So it's really going to depend case by case. Like lighting, generally will cover a higher percentage of it because it's $1 per unit. If you're doing something a little more complicated like HVAC or refrigeration, we will pay $1 per energy unit saved. So that's how it works. The savings are applied. The deal is between the customer and the installer. So the customer will pay the quoted rate. It'll show what the incentive is. There's no waiting for rebate. So our incentive gets applied to that point of sale. And then once everything's been installed, hopefully, that should result in instant energy savings and in bill savings, hopefully. So at the end of the day, we want to help businesses do what they do best, which is run their business. And we just want to help them run them a little more efficiently. So that concludes my quick presentation. If you want to reach out, email address is smallbusiness@coned.com, and coned.com/smallbusiness will take you to my program's website. And on that site, you'll see these 2 case studies, and I think there's 1 or 2 more. We have our incentive rates posted, and you'll be able to see who the contractors are. And I will stop right there.
All right. Thank you, Watson. I appreciate you coming on and giving us that quick info about this great program. I see a few hands. Leo.
Thank you, Watson, on the presentation. My question is, do you guys do specific outreach to the small business in the community? How can a business find out? Obviously, if they came to this meeting, which would be amazing, they would get all the information, but more than likely, not everyone can make the meeting. So how do you guys get out there to kind of bring awareness to this program?
That's a great question. And I mean, this all started, I presented at a small business breakfast for the Washington Heights and Inwood Chamber of Commerce about a month ago. So really just trying to get in front of organizations like that. Now I got an introduction to the community board, but trying to get my program's information in front of people that can help distribute it to the larger business community. So we do have brochures, we have our website, but at this point, just trying to present to as many people as possible, and then through your networks, reach these businesses. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the customer, they're going to have to opt in to pursue this opportunity and reach out to the contractors. So we just want to get the word out.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, that's what we do, man, Watson. This is what we do. Sometimes we don't have as much as attendance as we want, but we try to reach our networks to as many people as we want, as we can, and this is part of what we do, right? And it's a great program that we should be taking advantage of.
whether, I don't know if you have a newsletter, but like, certain chambers of commerce, like we've started to get some mention, so that's another way to spread the word. And yeah, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat. Our vanity URL.
Yeah. Well, I just got word from Jackie. Jackie is one of our community-based organization that often is here in our meetings, and we thank her for her work. Cloth is like very similar to this board that she promotes the development of the businesses in the neighborhood, and she put it on her newsletter. So it's going out to the people that are in that newsletter. So that's great
Awesome.
news.
Appreciate it.
Hector, I got another hand.
So can you hear me? Anyone hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm on the train still. Boston, thank you so much for the presentation. I have a two-part question. The first one is, what's the time horizon for one of these projects?
That's a great question, and unfortunately, I can't give you like the perfect answer. It's really going to depend on what are the baseline conditions of the business. So also what is being installed. If it's lighting, it's probably going to be a little quicker. If it's going to be something a little more intensive, like replacing an air conditioning system or another other kind of something that's going to require more engineering work, because basically the way that our incentives work, it's going to be paid based off of the energy savings. So there is going to be a fair amount of work that goes in. So like I mentioned earlier, like the installer, they'll come to the business, they'll assess the space, they'll provide that preliminary report. But say if the customer then opts in, there's a pre-installation visit that happens to get all of the measurements. There's the installation, there's a post-installation inspection to make sure everything was installed properly. So, it could be a few weeks, few months. It really just depends on what's being installed.
Okay, cool. And then my second question is there a charge for a preliminary viewing of the establishment?
Normally there shouldn't be. If we're talking about lighting or some kind of if it's not something that's going to require doing like an entire building assessment where like very intensive engineering is happening, no, there really isn't any cost. And this another good benefit of the program is, so you get the assessment, but the customer doesn't pay anything until they sign their contract with the vendors. So
what kind of spend? Okay, cool. And last question. I'm sorry, I know I only asked for two, but is the contracts that you have with current establishments weighted towards like a certain type of business, like restaurants or supermarkets or bars or something like that, or is it across the entire spectrum?
So we work with all kinds of small commercial customers. So it could be bodegas, bars, restaurants, fitness centers, offices, laundromats, nail salons, barbershops, churches, synagogues, temples. It really just, if you pay a small commercial Con Ed rate in your electric bill, and you will be eligible.
Great, thank you so much. And I apologize, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Hector. I'm a member of the community board on the business development committee as well. Thank you, everyone.
And I can make a PDF version of my presentation available as well.
Absolutely, that'll be very helpful if you can.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, you can share that with the board and other newsletters that go out there. Any other questions? Is that an old hand, Leo, or is that a new one?
Sorry, old hand.
Okay. So I have one question. It was a great presentation, kind of covered it all. The only question I would have is because I don't know much about how light is measured. What's that threshold? 300 kilowatts. What's that threshold look like?
So without getting too technical, I mean, all those business types that I mentioned, they are the ones that are qualifying for a program. Like if you're a much larger commercial building, you're gonna like have a bunch of different things plugged in. It's gonna be very energy intensive, and your lights might be on all the time. like you're a much larger like a skyscraper or something like that, that's going to be clearly a commercial industrial building. For us, like, I mean, supermarkets, some warehouses, like those might be some of the larger size facilities, but it's a lot of brick and mortar.
Okay, great. Any other questions for Watson? We will disseminate this information, Watson, as efficient as we can. Give it out to everyone, to the board. We will pass this information on to the general board, and hopefully we can get the word out.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
A few small businesses reduce their spending. For sure. Thank you so much, Watson. I appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, actually, sorry,
Yeah,
I should have mentioned this in during my presentation. I did have a handful of businesses that recently participated.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
Darwish Furniture, they're at 187th and St. Nick.
Okay.
They received lighting upgrades. I think our incentives covered about 65-68% of the job. There is a clothing store called Fino on 180th and St. Nick. They got 70% of the project incentivized. Also, at Broadway and 182nd, there's like a inspection, a vehicle inspection.
Oh yes.
Next to like a gas station. They got just over 50% of their lighting incentivized for interior and exterior lighting. So
excellent, excellent. Shout out to Fino, a staple in our community when it comes to the fashion world. It's been there since I was a little kid. So it's good to hear that they're saving some other on their electricity bill.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Watson. I appreciate you coming on and giving us that information. So I want to move the agenda along. Any questions? Anything that you guys want to mention before I move on? Okay, great. So the next subject is our business development quarterly resource guide. When we took on this project, and maybe Hector and Masita can chime in on this, we didn't know the abundance, at least I didn't, the abundance of help that there is out there. And we've kind of partnered up with a lot of organizations throughout the first 5 months of this year. And it's given us a better scope of what we're working with. So next month, we're really going to hone in, right? And we're going to do it so just a fair warning, it might be a little longer of a meeting, next meeting. And I'm going to try to bring everybody together in the committee to kind of list down these organizations that we've been working with the last 5 months. The goal of this committee this year is to come up with a resource guide, a one-stop shop newsletter that happens quarterly to distribute it amongst small businesses and businesses here in the neighborhood. So we can bring awareness to programs like the Con Edison, Bill Saver program that they have for small and medium businesses. So this is important that the needs assessment for cloth, right? UMES, Upper Manhattan, the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, all these organizations, the Verizon and the Dominican American Chamber of Commerce, the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce, all these are organizations that are community-based and that are helping organize programs or grants or something in help for small businesses. So this is something that we're working on that is going to take a lot of patience because there's a lot of moving parts. But I think we needed these 5 months to kind of interact with these smaller businesses and these community-based organizations that are offering all these programs. So it's been good 5 months. Now we have a better scope, and next meeting we will get down to it, to writing it down step by step, and organization by organization. Yes, Leo. No, old hand. Okay, good. All right. So just wanted to tell the committee that I know it's just Hector and Masita here, so I'll let the rest of the committee know. So Some new business. We have some pending resolutions, something to look forward to after the summer break, possibly after budgets in September. So, business development usually doesn't do resolutions rather. We kind of like just disseminate information, but we are looking to spearhead two, along with other committees, two resolutions. The first resolution is, and we kind of briefly discussed this in our past meetings, is the deliveristas, and building kind of workstations or power stations across our neighborhood to help them charge their delivery vehicles. Carmen De La Rosa is working very closely with the city, and I think they approved, and I think it's some capital funding for this project. We just have to come up with different locations. I think that's where that project is at. But we want to do a statement of support because during the pandemic, we had, that was the main source of getting food from, the restaurants, local businesses to their clients and their customers. So it's something that we want to work on with traffic, transportation, and public safety, because those are, it kind of intertwines all three, right? The vehicles moving across our neighborhood and the public safety when it comes to these batteries, right? Because there's been some things on the news that they could be flammable. So we're working with Debbie and Eli and Leo that's on the call to do a statement of support sometime in the fall. So be on the lookout for that. Another one that we are working with those two committees, public safety and traffic and transportation, is safety zones. And I'm gonna try to chime Leo in here so you can tell me a little bit about the safety zones. Go ahead, Leo.
Thank you, Joel. So a couple months ago, we saw the tragic news about a police officer that was killed when he went with his brother to sell a car. A lot of it goes unreported, but there is a lot of crime that happens to e-commerce sellers, so people who sell from the car, OfferUp, Craigslist, etc. I saw in different states, different cities, and I believe there's a district in New York, can't find the information now, they have safety exchange zones. So safety exchange zones are a place where there's cameras and with vigilance from NYPD, and you go there and it's a safety zone. It's somewhere where you can, do the business and not feel like you will be, harmed in any way. So I think that I brought it to Joel because obviously you guys support entrepreneurs. It's a lot of sellers in our community, whether it's sneakers, clothes, equipment, cars, etc. I think this would be good to kind of protect people doing businesses in our backyard, and it protects the people that live here, right? Because, you prohibit or you kind of deter, I guess, these crimes from happening when there's vigilance from people who are here to serve and protect us. So it's something that's still in the works. We wanted to bring it up to the Business Development Committee and Public Safety. I think it touches bases with them mostly, to see if we can have something of support and then, trickle it up so that we can establish something like that in our community to allow e-commerce merchants, sellers, or buyers to conduct business safely in our neighborhoods. It gives protection to the residents around, and I think it's overall good. It will boost up entrepreneurism. So yeah, Joe, you could go ahead and take it from there.
Thank you, Leo. Yeah, I totally agree with the rise in the reselling market. It's important that we find somewhere where we can safely trade amongst ourselves. And I know there's districts, I think multiple districts that are participating in safety zones. So it's definitely something that we're going to work with. I'll probably have a joint meeting with all, if possible, all three committees So it's a short statement of support of something like this and see if it can be implemented in Washington Heights and Inwood. Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Francisco. What's going on, Francisco? Thank you for joining us. Quick shout out. So we have next is announcements. Just want to move the agenda along. Any announcements? Any announcements from the committee? From any people on the board? Good. All right. All right. See none. I just want to thank you everybody for coming out. I know there's a lot of info here. I put up some of the things of the SBA and their virtual summit for tomorrow. Please tell your small businesses it's a great resource. Again, the needs assessment and this Con Edison program to save businesses on their energy bill. So please disseminate that information. I will pass on this information to the general board and the executive committee so they can further spread the message. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And can I have a motion to join today's meeting? It's 7:58.
Motion to adopt, second.
All right, I second it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys coming on today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Joel, for hosting.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Yes. Take care.
Thank you, Joel.